All right, everybody. Started a little earlier than the schedule when I put the link up yesterday, but I have a few things I got to get done, but doesn't matter. We're on today, and I got a lot of videos for people. Videos of UFOs, NASA speaking about the 9-month plan that starts in the fall. That now, since we're in the fall, hey, interesting time to play it. I'm sure that Anthony has heard the 9-month plan, but some of you in the chat might not have heard. What is this 9-month plan that NASA's even talking about? Because we all know there's some weird things been happening lately. I mean, just like the patch. Here, let me show. I'm going to share the screen with this patch again. I know we talked about it yesterday on Anthony's channel, but let's just go over it just one more time. Make sure everybody can see it. Okay, so in the beginning, Anthony, in the prior week, the thought process of this patch that came out was it's a brand new patch that this organization is using. And I remember you broke it, when it first came out. But now what we heard in the last few days is it's that not they redacted official.
It. Yeah, no, it's not official. We should have realized that in the beginning because the jet maroon is actually a Russian MiG fighter jet, and the UFO was skeptical to begin with, but it was great. It was like so cool that we had UFOs on a patch, and the SR-72 was leading the pack on this patch. But then we come to find out that somebody nefariously put this patch up, and the National Intelligence Division took it down yesterday. And I read a whole statement on my show that it was nefariously put up. And that's kind of upsetting, man, because I thought it was so cool that they were finally going to roll something out with UFOs on it. But just like everything else with UFOs on it, they take it away.
And I'm sure there's going to be a million conspiracies that's going to come out. Like, I'm sure somebody's going to say is the organization planned this all along to bring some extra hype to it, even though it looks negative that they're taking it off, but they got publicity. They got, to it. Or did the person who put it on that you're supposed to get approval for everything just didn't get the approval and thought it'd be funny and put it on? I mean, that could be a possibility too, but overall, do you think there's some kind of a conspiracy, or was it, you think it maybe was just a big fuck up?
Yeah, I think it was just a big screw up. Something seemed wrong from the get-go. Andy and I had said that the day we showed the patch. We thought something was off with this. But, man, I'm so upset that this isn't the actual design, man. It's a really cool design. I even went ahead and put it on a T-shirt already, and I made it a background. I love it, man. Look, here, I got it here as a background we had set up. I love it, man. It's really cool. But, yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't their actual design. What's that?
You spotted, you realize that that's a Russian jet, because the most common person is going to look at it. Ain't going to, come on, almost 98% of the people on this planet ain't going to recognize exactly what jets those are unless they're kind of into not just planes, into fighter jets.
Right. Originally, I said to myself, is that an old, F-15 or F-14? And then when you really look at it, I was like, that's a MiG. That's a Russian jet right there. And then I thought the one at the lead of the pack was Aurora or the TR-3B initially. But then upon a little further research, I realized that it was the SR-72, which is ours, but they never said that we had it. It was the next design after the SR-71, which Jim Goodall wrote many books on. And then we got the UFO, just totally out of place. And it didn't fit to begin with, but it was cool. And then
we got good news. Sound wavers were out. We captured a disc. Oops. It was just A muggle balloon. Yeah, you got to watch out for those balloons. You know, they're easy to mistake for UFOs.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, we learned that. But while ago, you know, I mentioned on the show, I know you probably mentioned on your show that, you know, NASA came out earlier that said, hey, we're going to finally start looking into UFOs. And, you know, I'm here thinking, wow, you mean all that time since the organization was up with all those satellites looking the skies, we were never looking for UFOs in the past? I mean,
I know, odd, right?
looking up there, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of strange. I mean, then if you haven't really been looking for UFOs, you probably got 40 years of footages of maybe UFOs on there. Maybe they should give it to people like us, since you guys never were looking for it in the first place. Probably what? I guess you thought everything was asteroids?
Right, right.
Armageddon. But a new report, and I know a lot of you probably already, people in the UFO community already know this, but remember, we're here with the community that's from Bigfoots, paranormal, Mandela effects. We have different people and communities that they don't follow every story closely. So NASA is pressing forward on its UFO investigations. They're pressing forward now.
Good for
I'm
them.
so excited they're pressing forward. Well, here's a little news story of them pressing forward.
Richard Southern is here with some Fun Friday stories, including a new chapter in the search for answers regarding UFOs.
My favorite subject. This is big though. NASA back in June, we talked about this when it happened, Melissa. NASA back in June said it's going to launch its first ever scientific study on UFOs or
The first scientific study of UFOs. Wow, this is
ever.
And this is NASA.
Yeah,
this is ever the biggest space program that's in this fucking world, and
and they just started looking.
I'm sorry, I had to pause. I always choke on that part. Like, seriously, really? Wow, damn. Okay, man. Where's Tom Hanks when they need help in NASA?
UAPs, as they now call them. Now we're getting some more details on what that's going to entail. NASA says the study will be led by astrophysicist David Spergel and will begin this fall.
Before I go forward, this David Spergel guy, who is this? Do you know this guy? You know anything about this guy?
No, he's probably some kind of, I would assume he's a NASA affiliate. I'll look him up.
Okay. I was just curious. And when I heard that name, I didn't know maybe he's a known person in the community. So I'll continue with the video while you look that up.
About 9 months. The assistant deputy administrator of NASA says, quote, we're going full force. He says, quote, this is really important to us and we're placing a high priority on it.
Wow. So it was never important before?
I got him. So David Nathan Spergel is an American theoretical astrophysicist at the Emerson Charles A. Young Professor of Astronomy. So he's an astrophysicist. That's who Spergel is.
Okay. And guys, this is so great. They're finally going full force. Let's hear more.
The study's panel will consist of 15 to 17 scientists. They will be world-leading scientists, according to NASA, and they'll also be experts on data practitioners, artificial intelligence experts, and aerospace safety experts. The main goal of all this, says NASA, is to identify and characterize the available UFO data, lay out the best ways to collect observations in the future, and determine how the agency can use the data to advance its understanding of whatever's going on up there in the skies. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of results NASA comes up with.
Yeah, maybe we'll finally.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to be conspiracist here, but I'll tell you what I think, what's really going on. Okay, there's a little hype now. Okay. The government now wants to know, what are those flying around? Not necessarily UFOs from other planets. What's flying in our airspace, because we can't share airspace with the planet, because we have walls. We don't really have true neighbors. The UK, we got a wall against them. We got a wall against Iran. We got a wall against Mexico. So we can't share our air with nobody. So basically, I think it's just another way for NASA to get special funds. Say, hey, we'll look into those UFOs even more closely for you, but we're going to need a bigger budget. We're going to need to hire 17 who we say that are the best in this world. I'm I don't know them. I don't know their credentials. Maybe they are the best in the world. I don't know. But it just seemed like it's just a way to open up more funding in a certain way. And, and then the public will think, oh, right, we're finally going to look at, alien ships. No, they're using it more of a spying kind of a weapon, kind of a deal to make sure nobody invades our space, because we can't be a true world, all friends. We have to keep our walls up.
Yeah. Can't play it safe without world dominance. You know what I mean? If we don't have air dominance and superiority over everybody, it's no good.
So, but this is the fall now, Anthony. They're starting their 9-month plan.
So what do you think,
first
man?
of all, how is a plan only for 9 months? Is it just when the next 9 months when they need more funds? Shouldn't this technically be an ongoing thing?
Maybe they're going to test it out and see how well they do for 9 months, and then if they do well and get good information, they'll fully fund it or something. Who knows?
It truly makes you think and all that. Now, guys, I have another video. It's called "We Just Saw a UFO." Now it says here first. Okay. On September 24, 2022, a strange light you saw in the sky Saturday evening was not a meteor or a UFO, but a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket that deployed 52 Starlink satellites. That's what it says. Now, when you play this video, it's just going to be music because there's some copyright words in it. I had to get rid of it. But the reason I'm playing this is if it is satellites, I want Anthony to take a look at it for me and kind of like school a lot of us in the chat, help us out. Like how do we tell the difference between an unidentified flying object that's for a fact that's a satellite? How do we accept that? Because if you're a common person looking up in the sky, anything that moves you might think is UFO, but then Anthony say, oh no, that's a satellite. So take a look and try to explain what makes it a satellite, or is that a cover-up? That's what I want to know.
Let's see.
Like I said, it's just because there's a copyright.
You're not going to believe it. What I got.
Why did I pick that song, guys? I don't know. Okay, so when I'm looking at that, okay, now I'm looking at it, it looks like there's like a light.
I can't hear you over the music.
You what? Oh, here. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So when I was looking at this video, now you see like a light that's behind it, like it's moving forward with the light.
I could tell.
Now,
I mean, just from looking at the sky, that's a capsule from either SpaceX or Starlink or whatever it is. It's just your common characteristics of what it looks like in the atmosphere. Okay. But even better, if you look at the bottom, I filmed that exact capsule going over Staten Island. I put it on the bottom for you.
Oh, really?
Yep. Well, my brother-in-law filmed it.
I'm going to play that in a second, but this is just a closer look of this is different people in the area that caught the same thing, and then I'll show Anthony's. So this is just a better shot. Somebody must have a better camera. So when you look at something like this, when you see a light kind of going perfectly up, perfectly straight, that's more like a satellite. Okay.
Yeah. Satellites, they're in a straight line. They don't change their trajectory. They'll never make a U-turn or shoot off in an opposite direction or pick up speed or reduce speed.
But now here this might be an off-the-wall question. So if you're closer to this, you're really going to see the light. But if I'm somebody that's maybe could see it way farther back, the light might be dimmer, where I might think that's a UFO. Well, It is an unidentified flying object. I'm telling. I know exactly.
You see the
what it is,
light,
but
and then you see the mist behind it. That's the boosters that you're seeing making that in the atmosphere is what you're seeing.
And guys,
The
this like I said,
rocket boosters.
this is education. This is what I wanted to know from Anthony. What do you look for to make sure that what you're looking at is not a satellite? So basically, what you're saying is, if it's more straight, there's a perfect light. It doesn't maneuver. It doesn't go up and down.
Satellites, they don't change their trajectory. They're just in a
don't.
straight line. They don't move. The speed's always the same. They're always on the a straight flight path.
And this is what you caught. Same thing.
My brother-in-law.
Oh, your brother-in-law caught that.
Yeah.
Wow.
We'll come hurry up because it's going fast. Holy shit! Look at that. That's 100% car. That's not an airplane.
No, that's not an airplane. Daddy, it would be blazing, wouldn't it?
What I like about the video is just listen to the people, like common people, like that's a plane,
Yeah, they don't know what it was. Then of course it gets sent to me.
Watch.
It's going fast. Holy shit! Look at
They got a really good shot of it though.
That's
a
100% car. That's not an airplane.
No, that's not an airplane. Daddy, it would be blazing, wouldn't it?
See, my favorite parts are always listening to what's happening around it, people's reactions, because sometimes you can tell if somebody's faking something more just by listening to people.
Yeah.
So I'm always saying, like, when you watch a video, if there is surround sounds, listen to them. Listen how a person's reaction.
For common people, seeing that in the sky, it's totally out of place. It's shocking. Like, oh my God, what's that? Especially with everything going on today with Russia and Ukraine and everything. You don't know if they're going to send something over here because we're helping Ukraine. You never know. That could also look like a missile coming in too to some people, right?
Well, yeah, because
totally
if you live here in the United States, we're not used to seeing missiles being shot in the sky like other countries experience that luckily we don't. So we don't know exactly what it looks like. And when you shoot a missile at night versus daytime, what's it look like with all that flame, all that energy? So that's a great point. That is awesome.
I mean,
now, the next one
like
is
from being in the military when they shoot a missile in the sky. I'm sure you've seen it before. It would freak you out if you've seen that, especially over Staten Island, New York. Seeing that, forget it.
Let me tell you, Mike. I just showed Anthony example of the cartoon with your voice in it with the sound effects, and buddy,
perfect.
You sound pretty good in it, Mike. Your voice is perfect. Now this next one is a UFO lands in Denver.
In my backyard.
Lands in Anthony's backyard, then it goes to Denver. That would be scary if you don't know. That is true.
Exactly.
That is true. That is true. I mean, if you're not used to it, like what the hell is that? I mean, honestly, here in Washington, I've never seen a satellite like that close, like here. Never. So, I see airplanes coming in and out because I live by the airport, but I wouldn't be used to that myself. I'll be questioning at first, like, could that be? But now, listening to Anthony, like, I got to step back. Is it moving?
Well, what you were looking at there, Eric, that's the delivery device. The satellites were inside that. So
oh, shoot.
There we go. It happens.
Okay, here he is. You froze. You froze right when you said they're inside it.
I was saying that what you were looking at there in that video is the capsule, the actual rocket, the delivery vehicle. Inside that capsule were the Starlink satellites that were going to be deployed. So you were looking at the capsule flying through space, getting into position, and then they would come out of the rear of that one by one.
Actually, guys, he didn't freeze. It was NASA trying to freeze.
I was actually abducted. I was actually abducted and put back in my chair immediately.
So let's check out the UFO in Denver.
Have you ever seen a UFO? Sightings are apparently pretty common here in Colorado. Perhaps that's why the International UFO Symposium landed in Denver today. Michaela White stopped by the Sheraton Hotel downtown, where attendees say all it takes is an open mind and a little research, and you could be a believer too.
Sunday morning, crowds descended on Denver from all over the world to talk all things extraterrestrial. The symposium was headed up by MUFON.
MUFON is the largest, the oldest civilian UFO investigating agency in the world. We have a network of 660 trained, equipped investigators in all 50 states.
And they say there are many sightings right here in Colorado.
We average about 20 to 25 a month. But nationally and globally, we probably do 1,000 a month.
I had a sighting, a very unambiguous, clear daylight sighting. And all of a sudden, there are 5 silvery white, disc-shaped objects on a clear blue sky, close enough to make out windows in a precise V, as in Victor formation.
I'm an abductee.
You're an abductee?
Yes, that had an implant removed. I'd hurt my wrist, went to get a x-ray. The doctor come back and says, you know, you have a piece of metal in your arm. They're looking for information, but they do pick up people up and experiment on them.
They say the subject can be viewed as something superficial, but their goal is to educate.
The evidence is so overwhelming that it's very difficult to say there's nothing else out there.
In Denver, Michaela White, covering Colorado First.
Well, have you?
So here's my question. Do you feel comfortable of trusting MUFON? Is that one of the better organizations?
I tell everybody, yeah, it's a big organization, right? But do your own research. I don't trust anybody anymore today because I don't know who's got what agenda and who's pushing what today. Do your own research. Yeah, MUFON's a good foundation where you can start to, look things up, but always use multiple channels, to try to do your research. When you just don't use one outlet. You know what I'm saying? It's the best way I can tell you.
See, guys, that's perfect information to know. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Never put all your eggs in one basket. But I mean, it is nice having a conference where you get everybody together to tell their story. So, even if you don't think that, anybody's going to be truthful, but think about the people who are going to this, some of them are just like you. And you heard that one guy's talking about, they found a piece of metal that was just in him. And he had no memory of any surgeries ever been done to put it inside the body. Those are kind of stories you get to hear from regular people.
Yeah, but you know what, Eric? Even that today, right? Because so many people want
that can be fake too.
Things, right? Yeah, everybody wants to get their 10 minutes or 15 minutes of fame, right?
Yeah.
So you can't trust that too. So if that guy came up to me and said, "Hey, I want to come on your show. I got an implant," I want to see doctor's reports. I want to see analysis where that thing came out and who studied it and who analyzed it. I want to see all that stuff today because everybody wants their 15 minutes of fame. People are selling a bullshit story today, without question. Unfortunately. Unfortunately.
Oh, no, that's true. And
you got to do your due diligence.
Doesn't matter what age they are. Doesn't matter male, female.
Right.
That's all. Listen, there's a lot of people that needs attention. They're dying for attention for whatever reason. They want that attention. They'll make up stuff. But you're right. If you're saying that the doctor discovered it, then that means you got to have paperwork. You got to have. I'm sure if there's X-rays taken, all that, something like that, you're going to keep.
Sure,
that's not something you're gonna.
If you were freaking out that you had an implant in you all this time and then you went and had it removed, wouldn't you definitely go get it studied to see, what it was doing, what it was, how it could have got there? I don't know about you, but I would have got everything tested on that thing. I would have had a whole slew of doctor's reports on that.
Why
Betty and Barney Hill? Why me? I don't want any attention that doesn't come with $1 million. Yeah, true. Especially today.
Yeah. Back then, you're not getting $1 million back in those days. You don't know if you're getting anything but headaches. That's why, but nowadays.
That's why the older stories are so much more credible because they didn't get paid to do that. 15 minutes of fame meant nothing to them back then. You know what I mean? They didn't have the TV outlets like we have today. Today, you go for, like that girl, you saw those green orb UFO videos all over the internet last month, right? And it turned out that girl, Emily from England, she hoaxed them all. She got her friends to call in the news stations and the police departments and say they had sightings. You know, that girl got multi-millions of views, and all those UFO videos were hoaxed by her, by one 20-year-old girl from England. So people have motives to do this shit today, man. It's sad.
Yeah. You know, you could probably say it probably really truly started, of course, when Hollywood gets involved, when Hollywood makes movies out of books. You could say like Amityville Horror really was created more when Hollywood took the guy's book and made it into a movie, because not anybody can do a book, but not even a book guarantee fame. But when Hollywood takes part of something, right. You know, now then what happened? The templates made, the templates created, like, wow, what if we do this and come out with the book and we get picked up? You know,
that's how everybody's thinking today.
Now, I'm not saying Amityville's not real, because at that time, that template wasn't really there yet. And you can't bank everything that's going to work out. But now when a template does happen, even though it doesn't work out, in the back of your mind, everybody thinks it does. It is going to work out. You know, that's just the way it is. Now, this next video is we're all seeing the famous UFOs. But here's one of the fighter pilots talking about when they saw one of those famous UFO things. Now, I know, of course, Anthony, you've seen it, but maybe some of you in other communities have not seen this woman pilot talking about when she saw one of those famous UFOs. And when you guys see the video, you'll know what famous video we're talking about. But here's one of the fighter pilots.
I don't identify as a UFO person.
Lieutenant Commander Alex Dietrich, a retired fighter pilot who observed a UFO during a routine training exercise in 2004, captured in what is now popularly known as the Tic Tac video, has found herself at the center of a media frenzy ahead of a highly anticipated government report on UFOs, a subject she says she has little interest in.
Yeah, I hope I'm not the UFO Tic Tac person for the rest of my life. This is not what I envisioned for myself.
But for UFO believers, the forthcoming report and Dietrich's sighting is the subject of much speculation and skepticism, part of the reason why the former fighter pilot said she feels she has a duty and an obligation to inform the public about what she saw.
We noticed something in the water that seemed to be disturbing the water or making it churn. We were able to then visually pick up what we describe as a Tic Tac, because that's what it looked like, this white oblong shaped object that was moving very fast. And then Commander Fravor pulled a maneuver to try to get some angles on it. And it appeared to respond in a way that we didn't recognize. And it surprised us because it didn't appear to have any visible flight control surfaces or means of propulsion.
Dietrich, now a mother of 3, served aboard the USS Nimitz. The video recording of what she and her then commanding officer David Fravor saw off the coast of Southern California in November 2004 will be part of the upcoming government report, along with 2 other declassified videos shot aboard U.S. Navy fighter jets, including the so-called Go Fast video released a few years ago.
I recognized that. The first time I watched it, I said, oh, yeah, that was just like us.
Dietrich said she has no opinion on the report, which is due to be released by the end of June, but she said UFO enthusiasts anticipating big revelations about unexplained sightings might be disappointed with the findings.
I have a feeling that folks who are anticipating the release will not find satisfaction. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I'm not looped in. I don't have any sort of insider information. I think that they enjoy the anticipation more than actually finding answers.
That's not true at all. Because it's
what
the
do we know about
absolute.
her?
Yeah, she was in the flight squadron that worked with Commander Fravor when the USS Nimitz had all the Tic Tacs dropping down from the sky. They were the flight squadron that was sent out to go investigate that incident. But what she said was she thinks that people are just interested in the thrill of hearing about the UFO, not doing the investigation part. That's the complete opposite when it comes to our community. We're more interested. Yeah, it's cool to see that they spotted a UFO, but we're more interested in the investigation part. Well, at least I am. I know you are too, Eric. I know others are. And for those of you that aren't familiar, the Tic Tac UFO pretty much looked exactly like that. That was the Tic Tac UFO right there. And, I've had the opportunity now to speak to Jason Voorhees, that was on the Nimitz, that worked on that, and others. So that's a pretty cool incident. But today, after all the hoopla was over, we seem to believe that it was a drone of some kind of unmanned aerial vehicle that doesn't belong to us. We don't know who it belongs to, but the government kind of is on the fence. They don't think it's extraterrestrial. They think it belongs to another foreign intelligence today.
But do you feel maybe that it's still? I mean, of course, we're never going to agree with what everybody says at 100%. There's always things they say we don't agree with. But I'm looking at a pilot, and to even talk about it from a pilot for the job point of view and all that, you're going to get criticized. You're going to probably do head exams to make sure you're not going crazy to keep your job. But then you're a woman pilot. You know what I mean? I mean, you do got to be a little bit more braver, because I don't want to say we live in a man's world, but a lot of things are a man's world, especially a pilot is mostly men versus women.
Yeah, putting herself out there, you're saying. But
yeah,
you know what I never heard anybody ask? What if the government set the whole thing up?
That's true too.
I've never heard anybody ask that question. What if they set this whole Tic Tac incident up and the Go Fast incident up to get UFOs, to get everybody talking about UFOs now, because that's the next big war they're getting ready to wage. A war that doesn't even exist, let's say. Aliens, right? Who knows if the government's setting something like that up next?
Those are easier to do, cheaper to do.
Who the hell knows? There's so many conspiracies wrapped in conspiracies today, man. Anything's possible.
You are absolutely right. Anything's possible. Now, this next one, guys, is a driver claims to see a UFO on Hickman Road. So, UFO sighting on Hickman Road.
All right, take a look at this. A driver in Des Moines claims that he saw a UFO. What's that? The National UFO Reporting Center is looking into it. Cool. No, what is that, though? You can see it in this video. What Jacob Farrell calls a UFO. He says it was last night on Hickman Road near Merle Hay Road, looking north.
Des Moines, Iowa.
It's like an eyeball-looking UFO. I don't know what to make of it. It was kind of just hovering there in the sky, just kind of standing still. I was looking up like the Elon Musk equipment that he's got up there. But I don't know, because this was one object by itself, and it was just it was just too weird.
We asked the FAA. They have a legitimate task force for UFOs used by Congress last month, but it only takes reports from pilots. So we asked air traffic control if they got any reports and haven't heard back. So that's cool. The FAA referred us to the National UFO Reporting Center. Farrell filed a report with them that will be investigated, and the flight radar around Des Moines last night only shows planes. So it's up in the air, Chris. We don't know.
I think it's
investigated in the
I'm
flight
gonna try
radar.
to pause it on that shape.
It looks just like the objects that I filmed, man. The orbs.
That's what I'm about to say. If you look at it, it looks like an orb in space, but perfectly. I mean, it's not going in and out. It's just flying up there. That's not a shape of a
I would love to know how high up that was. You know how many feet off the ground he thought it was? 500 feet, 1,000, 10,000? Was it in space? Did he think it was in space? I'd like to know how high up that was. Because, I mean, if it was low, 300 to 500 feet, it could be a balloon,
if I've never, of course, sent any reports or file any reports. If I see anything, and even if I see something big or huge, I probably will never send a report. But I wonder if you send a report, and they apparently did their investigation. I mean, I think the only way they can do an investigation is just look at your footage. I mean, they can't go out there unless.
I've sent in reports plenty of times.
But when you send in a report, what my question was going to be is when you send in a report, and if they think whoever's looking at it that is total fake or fraud. Will they tell you, or will they tell you in a weird way, or how will they tell you that?
Oh, they contact you. Yeah, they'll do the initial contact and ask you all kinds of questions. Then they'll do their investigation. Then they'll call you back, or they'll come meet you if they need further information.
Really?
And they'll give you their findings. Oh yeah, somebody like MUFON or UFO Reporting Network or anybody like that. Yeah, yeah.
That's interesting. Have they? Some of the reports you've done.
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody ever came out to you?
Yeah, I get phone calls back that it wasn't.
I mean, not phone calls, but have a physical person actually went and met you.
No, I've never had anybody physically come to meet me. Maybe because they know I'm an investigator in the field as well.
And they don't need to do that.
I already know what it is, but I don't have a reporting agency where I could put the data in privately and have it stored there forever. These people do. That's the only reason why I report it. So it's logged and categorized, and at the end of the year, they could determine how many UFO sightings there were on Staten Island. So every time I have one, I'll report it just to have it logged in, because so many people don't report them, and they don't get logged in, and you don't get the data, you don't get the numbers.
Would you recommend that if you think you caught something, you should just report it just to have it on record?
If you seen some, I would recommend reporting it as long as you have photographs or video to go along with it, because without that,
not just
it's
words,
really just your story, and they're probably not going to do anything with it. With video and photo evidence, it lends a lot more credibility to the situation, and they'll get on it, But definitely report it if you've seen something, Definitely.
Yeah, guys. So there you go. You're learning something right here. You see something, you got a video capture, pictures, stuff, report it. Have it just logged in.
That's
because you never know. Somebody might question you 2 years later down the line when somebody looks at it. It's like they know it's real. Like, well, how come you didn't report it? You said, no, I reported it 2 years ago when I saw it. I sent the pictures in. I sent the organization. It's logged.
I can actually go on MUFON's website and pull up Staten Island, New York, and they'll show you every shape UFO and the location where the sighting was. So if it was a triangle, it'll show you a triangle. If it was a disc, it'll be a disc. There's even logins of people that had actual extraterrestrial encounters, and you'll see a little alien head there, where people think that they've had an alien sighting in New York. And they do their good job with it.
That's good to know. There you guys go. This next one is UFO sightings witnesses. Drone expert reacts to mysterious lights in Texas sky. Texas, Austin. So this is going to be in Austin.
Oh my God. Mysterious lights were spotted Thursday night over Brushy Creek in Cat Hollow.
Definitely isn't a plane.
This video was sent to Fox 7 by Gus McGibbon. He was out walking with his friend Kyle Gomez near Cat Hollow.
In real life, when you see it, it's like a lot brighter than it actually is.
There's something right there. It's mesmerizing, honestly. It was so silent. Because if it was one
Eric,
light,
this
then
is the
I
girl
would have
that
maybe
hoaxed
thought,
this.
oh, a helicopter, a
that's the
plane,
girl who hoaxed
something
it?
like that.
This is the hoax
but, like,
video
there
that
was
she
so
sent
many of
from
them
her
together.
friend.
Emily White says she
That's
and a friend
awesome.
were near Brushy.
Guys, I
That's
love
the
it.
girl that did it, and all those kids are her friends from college. And when they went home for the holiday, they all set this up nationwide that there was UFO sightings in all these different states. She had this whole thing organized.
Let's continue watching this.
Yeah.
Now we know, but let's listen to all these interviews. I'm so glad that
And they're all bullshit. They're all bullshit. But go ahead, listen.
Brushy Creek at the time.
Did you think that you were having a close encounter?
I'll be honest. Kind of. I don't know if I believe in all that, but I don't know. Maybe I hear a lot of it in like America that kind of things happens. I think it's just because of like it didn't make any noise at all, which I just thought was really odd. But yeah, I definitely felt like there might have been an alien invasion or something on the way. But yeah.
I can't tell what it is, but
People from the
I
UK.
never believed in UFOs or anything like that, but like, I mean, I might now. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I would have to say there's nothing extraterrestrial involved with this, but I am not to say that that couldn't be a possibility.
Drone expert Gene Robinson reviewed the video sent to Fox 7.
My initial take on this is that it is very likely a drone-based phenomenon.
What on earth?
At one point, the light zoomed off.
CGI.
Oh, what did I just freaking see, dude? What was that?
By the time you realize, like, what you're actually like looking at, it's not even there.
They are so fixed and tight. Some people assume that that's a laser. Could a laser do that? But it doesn't seem like that there's anything that the lasers are reflecting off of.
That's pretty unlikely. So I'm still thinking that this may be someone testing their do-it-yourself drone swarm.
A drone swarm is essentially a big light show. They started popping up about 2 years ago. Drone swarms can fill the sky like these that flew over Shanghai in 2020. Galveston had one for a 4th of July event. In March at South by Southwest, a drone swarm also generated a lot of buzz.
Pretty much expect this to be the future of night light shows, is these drones are going to be swarmed in, as we've seen, 100, 200, 300 drones.
I don't know what it really was.
I know. It could have been drones. It could have been anything.
It was mesmerizing, honestly. It was so silent.
Well, it was certainly a light show last night. Now, the FAA requires a waiver to fly at night, especially.
You know, just with all this technology and stuff coming on, like you're saying, Anthony, this is really, you got to really start even doing your own investigations now.
Check it out, Eric.
With all the special effects that's going on.
That girl had her friends film a bunch of different locations, nationwide. And then she added same UFOs, but different, maneuvers with CGI. And then they sent those videos to all different stations. Then she had her friends call the police. She had all her friends call the news stations. And it blew up overnight because there was multiple sightings of the same objects nationwide doing different things.
How did they finally get a cop?
She copped to it.
Oh, she copped to it.
Yeah, after everybody, all the hoopla, she wanted to show how stupid Americans were to believe anything. So when it comes to UFOs, Americans will believe anything. That was her whole deal with that. Yeah, she copped to it. There's a whole video on YouTube of her copping to it. How she did it, the whole 9 yards.
So basically, just laugh, just do to laugh at people. You know what?
Right.
But the funny thing about that.
That's why you got to investigate everybody, man, when they tell you they had a sighting.
But the funny thing is about that. Okay, it's on, like you said, it's all on the news channels. But, when people see things exactly on the news channel, they think automatically almost majority of people are behind it because it's on the news. And it doesn't necessarily mean everybody's behind it. All because the news is covering something. It doesn't make it more real, more fake or not.
And that's right. Just because it's on the news doesn't make it any more real. You know what I mean?
And then you make comments like, look, everybody believes me. No, not really. Just a news channel is looking for a story. Listen, the news channels, they look for stories.
Yep.
Even like you said, this story came out to be fake. Now the news channel could come out, oh, this came out to be a fraud. This. So there's a news story
come out the news.
Story, fake or real.
The news was so embarrassed that they got hoaxed. They never came out and said that she hoaxed it. She had to physically go on YouTube and cop to hoaxing it all. Emily White is her name. Unbelievable.
That's weird. I would have thought they would have came out, hey, they try to pull a fast one, but but I guess because she came out and nobody caught her, she's the one who was just saying it fun, and I guess I still think the news should balls up and make a comment about the situation.
They should, but will they? I doubt it, because they got so many views of that UFO footage. They won't come back and tell the millions upon millions of viewers that it was all fake, right? No. Why should they? They made their money off it. Why should they have to come back and say otherwise?
And guys, again, and we're not the only country in the United States that sees UFOs. I know there's reports all around the world. This one is in Alberta. Let me see here. This one's called Alberta in top 3 provinces likely to see UFOs. So these are the places that have seen more UFOs in the country of Canada. So we're going to be visiting Canada, eh? All right, Canada, eh? Here we go, eh?
If you're looking to see an unidentified flying object, Alberta may be one of the best places to achieve that, at least according to a new report. The National UFO Reporting Center shows Alberta in the top 3 provinces in Canada when it comes to sightings. There have been 654 encounters since 1952 in Alberta, coming behind BC with 1,151 and Ontario with 2,380. Chris Rutkowski is an expert in UFO sightings, studying and writing about them for years. He says while the topic can be seen as trivial or as a joke, there's a real side to the sightings which should be more commonly known.
The fact that we do get reports every year from pilots, police, air traffic control operators, and so forth, people with very good observing capabilities and with reputations on the line. And these are actually filed through official government agencies such as Transport Canada and National Defense, that it suggests that that the stigma probably should be removed.
The debate around UFOs, according to Rutkowski, is not whether or not the mysterious flying phenomena exists, but rather where they come from. Some could be easily found to be things like drones or airspace operations, but he says there have been a number of interesting cases over the years in Alberta, ranging from the first crop circles in North America in 1967 to more recent sightings of lights in the sky.
All right, so it just tells you that reports are all around the world. Canada has just as much reports we do, and I was interested because they talk about a crop circle back in 1960. I never even heard the story about a crop circle popping up in Canada, but it just tells you that crop circles are everywhere too. Everything is everywhere.
Have you ever
just
been in
don't
one?
close yourself off to hear. Open yourself up from around the world.
Have you ever been in a crop circle, Eric?
No, I've never. Nothing in dramatic sizes like that. No.
Yeah, I've been in one in upstate New York. That was pretty cool. I don't know if it was real or fake, but we went and visited one. Go check it out, see what it looked like, see what the reeds look like after they get pressed down and everything. It's pretty cool. I'm not an expert, so I couldn't tell if it was man-made or done by UFO or whatever, but it was cool to be in.
Yeah.
It was weird.
I guess with crop circles would take a lot of investigations. I mean, when was the grass there, and then when the time frame of a crop circle get created? Was it fast? Was it slow? You know what I mean? I mean, because I know people make crop circles, but some of these crop circles that they make in a timely manner just blows your mind. Like, yeah, if that was man-made, how the hell can they do that within an hour? You know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot of research you got to look at. And the problem is there are a lot of out in the country, so there's not cameras. Farmers don't really buy cameras just to face all the crops. You know what I mean? I mean, that's got to be one of the hardest ones to try to investigate.
Give me 1 second. Let me just say something to my wife.
Let me see here. What does this say? Terry, then I had to pick up. Oh, no, hold on. What did you say? I made a delivery yesterday of fresh meat from Colorado to Silver City, North Carolina. I have made my pickup today. Still overnight, North Carolina. It's real windy here. Wow. Yeah, the weather. I'm hearing, Florida's going to be getting hit pretty hard. You can tell a real crop circle from a fake in 5 minutes with proper stock examination. Oh, wow.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. So you can tell with the real proper stock examination. I like to.
You can. But there was a college team in the 90s that wanted to recreate a crop circle. And what they did was they pressed it all down with these boards, and then they shot metal particles into the air, so it would land on there to try to fool everybody to get the equipment all jacked up and shit. The only way you could tell is because the nodes on the stalks that get pressed down, they actually grow like 2 inches. You'll see the nodes grow weird from whatever radiation or whatever. They grow overnight in this weird fashion. That's the only way you could tell if crop circles apparently are real or fake.
All right, we're down to our last video of the day, people. This is mysterious lights spotted over Pacific Beach.
Lights seen hovering over our coastline have people wondering yet again, what could they be? Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
Real quick, when she say yet again, because we know a few months ago the ones in San Diego, so apparently yet again more lights are appearing.
It's a story we've been getting a lot of calls about here at the station. People living in Pacific Beach spotted these lights last night. So what are they and where did they come from? CBSA's Shannon Handy unraveled the mystery today. She has the answers and what a witness says he saw. Shannon?
Those lights were spotted just after 9 o'clock north of Crystal Pier. Now, while some believe they may have been UFOs, the military has a different take.
I just started taking a video and I couldn't believe what I saw.
A mysterious sighting in Pacific Beach Monday night. In this cell phone video, you can see several lights hovering in place above the ocean. Telluride Dominicus, who captured it from his patio, says they seem to have appeared out of thin air and stuck around for about 15 minutes.
I don't think they were anything normal because they appeared out of nowhere and were there for 5 minutes, 2 lights, and then they vanished out of nowhere. And then 5 minutes later, 5 more came and they hovered and kind of moved in sync with each other.
Telluride wasn't the only one who spotted the strange lights.
Dang, bro, there's aliens among us. The orange lights.
No, they're like moving sideways. On Twitter, people started uploading videos. CBSA posted about it too, which generated a lot of comments. Mauricio said, "It's the aliens leaving California." Another person wrote, "The Martians are coming, the Martians are coming." Meanwhile, Cam simply commented with parachute flares. So what exactly were they? After several calls to various agencies as well as the military, the Coast Guard told us this morning one of their helicopters saw the lights and flew to them. They were able to chat air to air with an Air Force aircraft who told Coast Guard pilots they were performing exercises involving flares. This isn't the first time lights like these have appeared in our area.
Remember those mysterious lights spotted off the coast of San Diego Monday night?
CBSA covered a similar sighting back in late June. A week later, the Coast Guard confirmed they were flares being dropped from a Navy C-130 plane and were possibly attached to a parachute, which is why they stayed in place and lingered for so long. A plausible explanation, but it's not the one Telluride was hoping for. The DJ and producer makes music for a living with a so-called alien vibe and says he just so happened to be working on a new song last night when...
Now, first of all, you can't always maybe they are flares, maybe they're not. You can't always believe what a military is going to tell you. Listen, I've been in the Coast Guard. That's the military that I was in. I was in the Coast Guard, and I've been stationed, New Jersey, of course, Seattle, of course, places, and I've never heard of that kind of testing of flares like that. I mean, I haven't heard. It almost sounds like this is nothing close to Roswell, but Roswell saying it's a air balloon. It's easy to say those are flares and stuff. And maybe they are, maybe they're not.
Plausible deniability.
Exactly. But don't always believe everything you hear, because I mean, if they're doing testing, how come they keep doing testing in the same place? How come they're not? Coast Guard's all in the ocean around the United States. How come there's not more stories of this?
And not only that, Eric, why didn't the guy that was at the beach hear the fighter jets flying over the ocean?
Exactly.
You would have heard fighter jets, right? Not just seen lights. So.
Yeah, so all because you hear, well, this is what it is. Listen, they're going to cover stuff up, and they're going to say something. And most people are going to believe whatever they say.
That's right.
Like I said, they're going to be telling the truth, but always keep your ears open, people, because you just don't know. That's why the title, I had another title, but that's why The title is about, trusting community. That's why when I mean by trusting communities is trusting the people that you watch, you listen to. Anthony probably tell you, if you want to study his background, look him up. Find out what kind of a character, personality he is.
That's right.
Because I know Anthony. He's no gatekeeper, but you should always check the people out if you can, because Anthony tries to investigate stuff for you, try to get videos up. And if you're going to listen to Anthony for his source or listen to his channel for source, look us up. Find out the people who you like or trust. I mean, that's right. Why would you? Well, I'm not going to go there. I want to say, when you vote for a president, you should vote for the character, but they're all scum. So I'm not even going to go there.
Don't go follow anybody blindly. You know what I mean?
And try to hear it from multiple places. One of the things I always ask, like if somebody's got a UFO, they think it's a UFO. I always ask, has there anybody else in the area that might have a video shot they showed up, so you could do some comparison? Those are normal questions. That's not like, what, you don't trust mine? No, you want to look for multiples if there is any, because you want to get all the information you can.
That's funny that you say that. Now, when I catch something that's good and I put it up on my channel, I'll type in on YouTube and Google UFO sightings over Staten Island with the date to see if anything came up that matched what I filmed that night. I've been doing that recently too.
Yeah, I mean that just helps. It not just helps to prove what you saw is real. It helps you to know that, wow, I'm so glad I'm not the only one.
That's right.
But it is harder because it is nighttime. Majority of the people go to sleep at night.
That's
so you're
right.
never going to get, well, how come there's not a lot of footages? Listen, Anthony's out there 3 o'clock in the morning doing this kind of stuff. Yeah. Most Americans probably at 3 o'clock in the morning are sleeping.
Well,
and they're not sleeping. Who knows what they're doing? They're not all outside with cameras at that time.
No.
But you should still check, because there might be multiple people, just another person or two more that just inside like, wow, I got something here. More people are seeing this.
That's right.
And then you can look at your shape and their shape and see how it's moving.
Right. That's right.
So what do you got? You got in, first of all, guys, I'm sorry to tell you, I'm not doing a show tomorrow. Tomorrow's my son's birthday. Anthony's birthday, and my son's turning 18. So,
oh boy.
So we're gonna be doing a lot of things tomorrow. I know Anthony's having a
Our
birthday
sons
party.
are the same age.
What's that?
Our sons are the same age.
Yeah.
My son will be 18 December 4th.
They're
wow. How about that, man?
I know, it's just
cool.
it's so weird, because when you look at your kids, you don't feel they're 18, but you're like, oh my God, he can vote now.
I know. Oh my God, that didn't even dawn upon me. He can vote now.
It's just,
oh man, I feel old.
I know. Oh. And so you're having a birthday show Sunday, correct?
Yeah, for my birthday. This Sunday is my birthday bash. So everybody's invited. Come hang out 5 p.m. Eastern time this Sunday on Unidentified S4. And real quick, for Donnie Cho and Brown Dwarf, Andy and I deleted all the wrenches. We just delete them and re-put them back. There might be 2 or 3 people that didn't get a wrench back that we didn't notice. I saw Donnie Cho and Brown Dwarf yesterday. You guys have your wrenches. They were put back. And if anybody else is missing a wrench that I missed, just let me know and I'll sort it out. Try to let me know when I'm live Sunday and I'll sort it out right there. But there shouldn't be anybody else missing.
And if everything goes right, people, if everything goes right, if I get the cartoon finished, I'm going to try to get it up and premiere it Sunday night. I'm not going to do an after show that day just because there's so many things going on the weekend. Anthony's got a birthday thing. But so the Monday show that I do will be about the cartoon. But if I get all the voices right, if not, worst case, I'll do it Wednesday night. But I am shooting for Sunday. I got a few more voices I need to get in. And if you like the last cartoon, you're going to like the next one. I'm just telling you right now. You're going to like the next one.
It came out really good, man.
A couple of voices that you're going to notice when you hear it. Mike, Long Island Bigfoot, is going to be in this one. Tex Front Porch has a bigger part in this one instead of his one-liner in the last one. So, and Amber's Paraworld makes makes she's joining the villain side. She's joined the villain side. She's joined the dark side. That's fine. That's fine. But beyond that, guys, thank you for showing up today. And hopefully I'll see all of you on Anthony's birthday bash party this Sunday.
I'm dropping the link now. The link's in the chat.
Links in the chat.
I hope you can all make it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Keep looking up and keep asking questions. Always ask questions and always do your research. See you guys next time.